a stand I call the scrape stand. I actually missed the buck I killed last year. I missed him from this stand. About 4 or 5 days before I ended up getting him. We got snow on the ground. Good conditions for deer activity. Obviously pre-rut. We're not in the thick of it yet for the rut, but there's lots of deer activity. We'll see how the morning goes. Well, it's been a pretty good morning so far. I haven't had any real close encounters at a doe and a fawn, about 35 yards before legal light. And then a flurry of activity, I don't know, I've seen a dozen deer, maybe 13. One buck that was showing some early rutting activities, bouncing around after does and just kind of farting around and being a pain in the ass to the does. So that's a good start. So yeah, I won't sit for a while longer here yet. It's a pretty nice morning. I haven't even worn gloves or mitts. I just got some hand warmers in my pocket. Got my phone and my grunt tube in there. Pretty comfy, so a little bit of light snow coming down. Beautiful, beautiful deer hunting weather.
With deer numbers recovering after a bad winter kill 2 years prior, I decided to try out the big bush some more, as I like to call it. Hunting thousands of acres of forest trying to use the terrain to your advantage can be a mental battle. It can be days of no sightings, followed by the sighting of a buck of a lifetime 5 minutes into your hunt. But it is a challenge I've enjoyed trying to tackle.
Chalk that up as something I've never seen before. 4 pairs on November 2nd. A big sow, beautiful sow, big white chevron, and 3 big healthy cubs. I could hear some snapping and crunching, and I thought, okay, here we go. I'm getting already getting amped up, and then I catch movement in the bush, and my heart starts to race. I'm thinking, here comes a big buck finally. It's finally happening. Waiting, and then all of a sudden I catch a flash of black. What the hell's that? I thought maybe a wolf for a second, but no, bear. Sow, 3 cubs.
I would alternate between the big bush and agricultural land, as I did have some great bucks on camera in both spots, but seeing them with my own eyes was proving to be quite tough.
his 5x5. I saw him Friday. My dad saw a little buck 2 days ago, like 10 yards. Could have shot him, but it just seems to be slow. I'm really not thinking I'm gonna shoot a deer this morning, but it's obviously I'm gonna have my bow with me and might see something I haven't seen on camera, and might leave this blind here, might pack it up and move it after the morning once the deer clear off the field. But regardless of all that, I'm set up, and I think I've got about 20 minutes till legal light now, so keep the windows closed for now, and hopefully get some close encounters with some deer today, maybe even some with antlers. We'll see what happens. Exactly recall this being in the forecast. This is quite the snowfall coming down right now. Definitely limiting my vision, that's for sure. I like how I'm in snow, but this might be a little bit excessive. It's the afternoon of the 10th. I hope I kill one because we got a warm front coming in next week. It's supposed to get up to anywhere from, I'm seeing 4 degrees on Celsius, but some poor guys are saying 10. Like we're going to have absolutely no snow. Everything's going to be mucky and wet. It's just going to be brutal. So we don't need that. We don't want that. It's no good for the rut.
Shortly after 3:30, my spy point trail camera sent me a picture of a doe running by, quickly followed by a buck I was not familiar with. I grabbed my grunt call and let out a few long, loud grunts. The buck was interested, but with no visual confirmation of what he was hearing, he went back to the deer on the far side of the field. As the evening progressed, I had 2 young bucks work their way into 30 yards and spend the majority of the evening within bow range.
bonus to this thaw and melt weather we're having is the snow is pretty crunchy. Although it can make getting in a little noisier. The deer traveling is a lot louder. I had a doe and twins come in behind me. The way they were moving, I figured something was probably chasing them. Not a minute later, something coming along, and it was actually not a bad buck. 4x4 for sure, maybe a 5x4. It's 2:33 p.m. Friday, November 17th. Just waiting on some of these bigger bucks to reappear. It's been a weird fall, weird deer season here. Had good bucks and then they buggered off. They haven't really been back. You know, I don't get bucks here until end of October, so they all showed up before the rut, as the rut was starting, and then not a lot of signs in, so it's been mentally taxing a bit. I've really, I'm 19 days into this, but I haven't had an encounter with a good buck on the farm at all yet. I don't know what to do. Just keep trying, I guess.
As I sat wondering and waiting, a big commotion erupted behind me. Deer crashing around and snort wheezing. I quickly recognized the one buck as he chased suitors away from his hot doe, and they bedded down 50 yards away. Although none of these bucks were what I was looking for, it was incredible to watch bucks appearing and trying to come check out the doe. Truly some of the best rut activity I've ever experienced.
After I got in, I heard crunching and crashing behind me, and a buck and a doe come in. 2 bucks actually after a doe, and a bunch of snort wheezing. And the buck is a buck I passed the other morning. So yeah, it was him and a doe, a hot doe, and then a spiker. And the doe ended up bedding down, and he bedded down right beside her. And they were there for almost an hour. And then the little guy that was behind him, he kind of came and right in behind me, but I don't even know where he ended up. And then they were laying there for a while, and all of a sudden he got up and he came and he crossed the ridge right at 20 yards. But I mean, he was on a mission. I don't want to shoot him anyways. He took off north, and I thought, well, it's weird, he's leaving his doe. He must have seen a buck coming or something. And then yeah, lo and behold, I see another buck, and then I see 2 bucks. There was 2 bucks out in front of me. He's running them both off. Talk about a load of action. Wowee, that was something else.
The warming trend continued and we lost all our snow. I continued to try and encounter one of the shooter bucks I'd had on camera, but to no avail. and the end of the season started to approach quickly.
Well, it's the morning of November 28th today. Season's dwindling now. Doing this kind of backwards this morning. I came out and I've only got 5 days left. Sitting here hanging out. I'm on my phone. I look up and there's a little buck like looking at me at about 75 yards. He keeps looking back, and then I see a little one-antlered guy, and then I see a doe run, and then there's a buck behind her, and it's a nicer buck. Oh, 30 days of deer hunting. On the 30th day, I shot my deer. I've never seen this deer before in my life. Never seen him before. But I don't really have to go to the point of impact to look for blood, because he came across in front of me. He crashed and then he got back up. And I gave him another one. So there should be good point of impact up here somewhere. Oh yeah, there he is right there. On day 30, I'm telling you, it's been a grind. I bow hunted most of the season, passed some good young bucks. I mean, this would classify as one of those too. And on day 30, with 5 days of the season left, never seen him before. Never seen this buck.
Obviously, I did not end up with one of my target bucks, but not for lack of trying. As the season dwindled, I was extremely happy to have venison for the winter, and to bring an end to a fun deer season that has me excited for what 2024 has in store.